Hey, kings and queens, Saundra Fenwick here, your mortgage consultant. And I am also now your recruiting director at Mortgage Experts. No, let me get serious, guys. I have taken on the role as the recruiting director at Mortgage Experts, and I would like to share with you guys the steps that it takes to become a mortgage loan originator. Now, Mortgage Experts is hiring. We are hiring for experienced mortgage loan originators as well as we are hiring new mortgage loan originators. Now, there's a lot going on in our country, especially in the DMV area. A lot of people are getting laid off their jobs. Different programs have funding cuts. The federal government is being laid off. So, there are a number of people who live in the Washington, D.C. area that works for the federal government. And a lot of people are right now afraid for their jobs. So, if you're in that spot and you were thinking, what am I going to do if I were to get laid off of my job? Now, I know a lot of people have been thinking about shifting, have been thinking about getting into real estate. Now is the right time to do that. With all of the shifts happening, the mortgage industry is booming. Okay, here's what we're predicting that will be happening, or me, myself. I can't speak for anyone else. But we are predicting that eventually the interest rates are going to start trickling down. There have been people waiting for the last 2 to 3 years saying, oh, I'm just going to wait until the market gets better. I'm going to wait until the rates go down. I never recommend that. So what's going to happen is all of these people that says, I'll wait, as soon as the interest rates take a big dive, there are going to be this whole plethora of people who are going to be jumping into the real estate market. And so now is the time to get in. People are still making money doing real estate. It is now in the height of the spring market. It's about to be summer. Now is the busiest times where for real estate. There's a lot of people who are downsizing. There are people who are moving out of the area, those people who are losing their jobs. So the market is booming. There's a lot of people selling their homes. There are a lot of people moving to the area to buy homes. There are a lot of investors getting into the market. And then there are also a lot of people who are waiting to buy. So right now is a great time, but pretty soon when the interest rates go down, because they will go down. That's the history of real estate. They get high, they go down, they get high, they go down. Now, will they go down as low as COVID numbers? They will not. Unless we have another worldwide pandemic, I don't believe that the interest rates are going to go that low again, but they will get lower. So here you go, have all these people at the starting line, right? And they jumping and they getting ready. They getting ready for the market to shift, right? So once that market shifts, it's like somebody gonna fire the gun up in the air, and everybody gonna take off running. What that's gonna do is drive the home prices up. So that's why I always said I recommend you buying now, regardless of what the interest rates are, because the interest rates change daily, and you can always refinance and get a different rate. However, if you wait until the interest rates go down, then you're going to be at that starting line with all of those other people, and then you're going to be bidding. It's going to be bidding wars for different houses that you want. So what does that have to do with you getting into the real estate market? What that means is you get ready now, you get your license now, you start building your business. So when this real estate boom comes, you'll be ready to take off and you're ready to originate loans. So we need people to get in, and we need people to handle all of this volume that's about to come. When it's going to come, I believe soon. Nobody can know for sure, but the economy is going to change eventually. What goes up must come down, and vice versa. So, how do you become a mortgage loan originator? Let's start first. For those of you who are mortgage loan originators now, you're licensed, you're not really happy at your brokerage, you're looking for a more supportive family environment, we will welcome you at Mortgage Experts. Reach out to me. All you have to do is change your sponsorship for your license and hang your license with the Mortgage Experts brokerage. We are licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia markets, but we also have affiliate companies if you're looking to be licensed somewhere else. So you have a great network, you have a great support system, you have great training, you have a competitive compensation plan. So if you're looking to join our team, we welcome you with open arms. Just give me a call. We will get you onboarded and we will get your license switched over to you. So if you're thinking about making a switch and switching brokerages, we welcome you here. Now, let's shift over to the new people that wants to get licensed. Now, just a little history of myself. I used to be a caterer. I have a degree in culinary arts. I used to cater and I had a restaurant for a short amount of time. And I have no history in real estate. I've never owned a house. I had never owned a house. I never went to the process. So when I say I came into it brand new, fresh out of the pot, I came into it brand new. And I'm not sure what this shadow is on here, but I came in and my mentor was like, get your license and we'll show you everything else. So he gave me the steps to get my license. You go take your 20-hour class, you register with the NMLS, you take your state electives, and then you take your test. It is a assessment test that you have to take, and you pass that test, and then you're licensed. And then once you're licensed, you hang your license with the brokerage. So I'm going to show you quickly how to do that. Now, Mortgage Experts, we have two options to get you licensed. We have a program that we work with in-house. They do the 20 hours required SAFE Act, SAFE. That's the nationwide federal test. They do the 20-hour class, and then they do test prep. And then once you get licensed, you are flown out to do a 4-day new loan originator class where they show you everything about the business. And then you come back and you shadow one of us and we do an in-house training for you. So we're going to give you all the tools you need to get started in this business. So you don't have to worry about how you're going to get it. Now, for me, I went on the NMLS website and I picked a random class. I did not have something like that. So I am giving you the tools and the keys because the class that I chose, there are a number of options that give you this whole big 10-page spreadsheet of different companies you can go with to take your SAFE class. And I think I chose the cheapest one, to be honest with you. And boy, was that a mistake. It was a terrible, terrible class. I don't even remember the name of the company. It was all of these, just imagine a huge slideshow full of laws and acts. And I don't have a law degree. I've never studied law. I don't know all of this stuff, but they had all the codes, 561F, squiggly line, 8C. And then they just read off the verbiage, word from word, that's in this law. And I'm like, what in the world? So long story short, I went there. They do give you a practice test. Now, after you finish your class, you're going to get this practice test to take. The only piece of advice that they gave me at that school that I took that class was, if you can pass your practice test 3 times consecutively, not pass it once, fail it once, pass it once, fail it once. If 3 times back to back, you can take that test and you can pass it, you will pass the real test. That was the best piece of advice that they gave me because I took the test twice. I ain't going to get on this here internet, on Beyonce's internet and lie. And I failed it the first time. But you know what happened? I had already scheduled my test. And it wasn't until the night before that I took that practice test. And I passed it once and failed it twice. And sure enough, I went in and I failed that test. Went back and studied. I found this great company on YouTube. And this lady was the truth. I've heard that she passed away recently. I can't remember the name of that either, but I got licensed in 2016, so her stuff may be outdated, but what I did was I went on her YouTube channel and I watched her videos over and over and over again. Like I did a temp job. I had quit the restaurant, right? So I was Ubering, I was doing temp jobs to make ends meet. So I had a temp job. I lived in DC. I had a temp job way out in Montgomery County. So that's like an hour drive in traffic every day. So as I'm driving there, I listen to her videos on loop. As I'm driving home, I listen to her videos on loop. And then I did that for a good week. I took that practice test 3 times and I passed it all 3 times. I said, okay, I'm ready. I went right on the NMLS, scheduled my test, and I passed the test. So it's really about the preparation that you have when you're going to take this test. So this time I was prepared and this time I passed the test. So this program that we have in-house with one of our partners, they do test prep. They give you the practice test. They give you practice answers. I had a young lady that just came on board and she went through this program. She said she tried to do test prep somewhere else with a different company and she failed the test. And then she did the test prep through this program that I'm telling you about. And she passed it. So these things have been proven. So I got the juice. So if you're looking into becoming a mortgage loan originator, I can help you. I got you. I will point you in the right direction and we will take you under our wings at Mortgage Experts and we will help you get licensed. Let me tell you about the culture of Mortgage Experts. We have 2 owners. There's a Black-owned brokerage that is, our office is located in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. We're right off of Medical Center Drive. Again, we're licensed in the whole DMV area. Between the 2 of them, they have over 20 years apiece in the mortgage business. So they've seen just about any file you can get. They're very down to earth. They have 2 different teaching styles. So you get the best of both worlds. Sometimes when I first started, I used to go to one and ask a question and the other ask the same question, compare the 2 answers, which always got me to the right. And then it'd be like, okay, this is the way I'm going to do it. So it was great having a dynamic. And I had another senior loan officer that was working with me, and I would even go to him for advice. There is never a time that I picked up my phone and called either of them and they didn't answer. If they didn't answer, they called me right back. And they were always patient with me. Now, listen, I'm brand new in this, so I need your help. And they were always willing to help. I used to get my laptop and go to the office and shadow one of them and just watch them work files. Like I used to be like, okay, this is, and then he would go over tax returns with me. He would go over bank statements with me. This is what we're looking for in the bank statement. This is what we're looking for the tax return. Okay, with this file, this is how we're going to go. This is a particular lender I'm going to choose, and this is how I'm going to do it. Those things are priceless. Sometimes when you're with a larger brokerage, it's hard to get in with the owner of the company and sit down and shadow them, or it's hard to get on the phone and call them and they're open to your questions. It's hard to be motivated that way when you're brand new in this business. So that's why I wanted to take on the role as recruiting director, because I wholeheartedly believe in Mortgage Experts. I wholeheartedly believe in what we do here. We're all about family. We're all about strengthening our community, and we have the knowledge and we have the access with so many different companies that we can help a lot of people get things done that they can't get done at a regular bank. So that's why I love personally working with Mortgage Experts. I'm loyal to them. I don't see myself changing brokerages for a while. So if you're already in this business and you don't have that family dynamic and you don't have that access to the owners, then I highly suggest you give me a call. You talk to them if you would like to, and give it a chance. So you can switch your license. That's the one thing about having your license. You can pick whatever broker you want. And as long as that brokerage is licensed in your state, you can hang your license with them. So every brokerage is different. Every experience is different. So you make the choice. But I am here to help if you would like to make the choice of Mortgage Experts. So I wanted to walk you through First steps for those of you who are brand new and getting into this business. So what you're going to first do is register with the NMLS. It is free to register with the NMLS. You just go to their website. You can Google NMLS. So once you register and get your NMLS number is your social security number in this business. It is public. When you're doing any marketing, when you're putting anything out there, you have to make your NMLS number public because anybody should be able to look you up on the NMLS website and see if you're licensed, where you're licensed, what kind of deals, if you have any complaints against you, if you have any lawsuits pending. You can look up a person by their NMLS number. That's why it's so important to have that. You have to have that to do business in this business, to do business. So you get your NMLS number, is 1589959. And then the company has its own NMLS number as well. So this is public record. Our deals are public records. Our loans that we close, public records. Our licenses, public record. You can go on there and look anybody up as long as you got that NMLS number. So I'm going to share the website. So this is how it looks when you first get on the NMLS website. So let me go over to that. So what you're going to do is get started. So you can go to NMLS updates. You can log into NMLS. I'm going to the little things over here. We go home, course providers. So this is where I went to find the company that I did my class through. Surety bonds, that's something you'll learn about in your class. NMLS business reports, you can go here and look up any business and get reports on them. If anybody has been accused of fraud or have any filings pending against them, if they have any discrimination lawsuits, all of that stuff, you can look at the business report there. So what you're going to do, and when you watched my live, if you watched my live of me walking through the application process, I walked through a whole application. I did that on our website because I can go in and delete it. So I am not going to walk you through this whole process because I don't want to create a fake page. This is a federally monitored system. So I'm not going to do that. But you're going to go here, go to getting started. State licenses. So who's paying for the license? Do you already have an NMLS account? Review, need additional support. Review your requirements and fees. Have you completed the testing requirements? Have you completed your education requirements? Have you completed your MU4 application? That's the full application. You need to put your work history there. They need to run your credit. They need to do a federal background check and all of that. And then watch for communication updates. So who's paying for the registration? You will be paying for that. If your company is licensed with a registered state or registered in state through NMLS, either you can submit and pay for your license registration. Whoever submits the individual MU4 application must pay the associated fees. So you will be doing that. Do you already have an NMLS account? If no, click on the Creating an Individual Account Quick Guide. That's going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to create it. Review your fees. All license or registration requirements and fees are available using the license and fees requirement, the checklist. So for sake of time, I'm not going to go over the checklist, but you can go here and pick out the check and go through the checklist. I do know when I took the test, let's click on it real quick. I don't know, for some reason, my computer is running really slow right now. So maybe because of the Wi-Fi that I'm currently on. So it's still something else to do. So you can choose to get licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia when you first start, or you can choose 1, 2, or all 3. Now, for me, I started in the state of Maryland because I know most of my clientele will be moving to Maryland. Um, so I just decided to go to. I just decided to start with Maryland, and then eventually I added Virginia and I added DC. So these things cost money. So once you take your test, you have to pay for your test. Then you have to pay for you have to pay for your class, and then you have to pay for your test, and then you also have to pay to get your license. You have to pay for your background check, your federal background check. So you will go to like a UPS store, or they'll give you a list of the places, and you go get your fingerprints done. And then you have to pay for your credit report, which I think is like $35. So those are the fees that you have to do. So you do you do your class first. And then once you get through the class, then you pay for your test. And then once you pass the test, you have to pay for your credit report and your background check. You go to the place and get your fingerprints done. Once that's done and you actually submit your license, you have to pay the state, whichever state you're starting with. The prices they differ per state. Some states require additional class hours, and some states do not. Virginia do not require extra state hours for your requirements. But I believe Maryland do, and I believe DC does. So let's go back here. So that's why I didn't want to go to that. Oh, shoot. Y'all didn't follow me to the other page. But hopefully you got it. So step 4, have you completed the testing requirements? If yes, proceed to step 5. Have you done the educational requirements? So yes. And then step 4, if your company is paying, you do the attestation. If you are paying, you do the MU4 form. Visit the criminal federal background check and the credit reporting page for more info about that. And then step 7, these states where you're trying to get your license will be sending you email updates, et cetera, about licensing if they require something. So some of you may be watching this and you may be like, oh shoot. They do a federal background check. I have a criminal history. That is okay. You can still get a mortgage loan origination license with a criminal history. You can even get one with the federal felony. Depends on what the felony is. You may have a wait time from the time that you got that felony. You cannot, under no circumstances, get a MLL license if you've ever been convicted of any financial fraud. If you ever defrauded anyone, if you ever scammed a bank or something like that, anything financial or fraud, you can't get a license. Everything else is reviewable by the NMLS. So please, please, please do not let that stop you. If when they do your background check, something comes up, you can explain. They're going to ask you to write a letter. They may ask you to fill out a form. This came up on your background check. Please explain what happened. And please explain. Now, I didn't have to go through that process, so I don't know what that looks like personally, but I do know some people who did. So I can't tell you exactly what they asked for, but it's usually a letter of explanation and some types of forms that you have to fill out. So do not let that discourage you. Credit. Let's talk about credit. My credit wasn't the best. Remember, I had went through a divorce. I had started a business that failed. I was in a lot of debt trying to keep my restaurant afloat. So I had pockets on my credit of just rough time. What we call it is life experiences. And what they did was they looked through my credit report and said, okay, you need to fix this, this, and this. These need to be paid off. What you're going to do is enter into a payment agreement, a payment plan with them, or try to settle this account. If you enter into a payment plan, please send us the terms of the plan and show us that you've made your first payment. And then they was like, in this pocket of time, we noticed a few things happened all around about the same time. Please explain to us what happened. I wrote them a letter. Hey, I went through a divorce. My household went through from from two incomes to one, and it was hard to stay afloat. And then the things that they asked me to pay, it wasn't a lot of stuff. So, because I don't believe in using a lot of credit. But the couple things that they asked me to pay off, I entered into a payment arrangement with those people, and I started making my payment plans. And they granted me my license. So don't let the credit history discourage you, because some people will look at this and be like, oh man, I credit jacked. I ain't even gonna go through with it. Some people are like, oh man, I got a criminal history. They doing a federal background check. I ain't even gonna do it. It just depends on your situation and your circumstance. That's going to determine if you get licensed. Okay? So let's go back to the process. So remember, first step, register for the NMLS. Second step, register for your class. If you want to do that program that I was telling you about, I will point you in the right direction, give you the link, and you will sign up and you will pay for that class right through their website. It is $250. Or you can do it that way, or you can go to your own company, any one of those companies that's on the NMLS. If you don't have time to wait for this program to start, because you have to wait for their start dates. If you don't have time to wait for that, you want to get started right away, you can go to any of the accredited classes on the NMLS website. So let me go back and show you. By the way, we do have to do continuing education every year. So in order to keep your license, you have to do continuing education, and you have to file with your state to renew your license for that year. So let me do stop sharing screen, and then I'm going to share the other page. Give me a second. This particular class is the class that I use, is the company that I use every year to do my continuing education. I love the teachers here. They always got a discount code. You see my username and password is saved in there. You're going to go here and go to new license. You have to have your NMLS number. See, look, they got a coupon code right here. You can go on a demo of the classes. You can do a live class. If you're one of those people who like to do it live, then you can choose to tune in when they're going live and do a live class. If you're one of those people who are busy like me, then you can do a self-paced course, right? And you go on and watch the videos, you take the test, and then they're going to give you a practice test at the end, and you're finished. Once you're done with your 20 hours and whatever you have to do for your state, they're going to bank your hours. They send it right to the NMLS and let the NMLS know that you are done with your class. So you can do just a 20-hour national for $226.28. You can do the ultimate package for $426.73. And that's with the coupon code. Now, there may be other codes. We have some coupon codes that I may be able to get for you too. So you do the 20-hour class. You include ultimate national test prep. You include 15,000 practice questions. When you're taking that test, every test is different, and they change the questions on it every time you take it. So don't think you're going to get the same question. Test reimbursement guarantee. So if you do not pass this test, then they will reimburse you. And then you will get the Pass Plus mobile study app and 7+ hours of training videos. So that's pretty cool. So this gives you the list of how many state hours you got to do. So you see here, if you're getting licensed in DC, 3 of those hours are going to be the state. So let's go over to Maryland. And these people are not paying me to promo. So just know that Maryland, they got 5 hours. 16 hours going to be your state and 20 hours going, I mean, 16 hours going to be your state and 5 hours going to be. 16 hours going to be your federal say. 5 hours going to be your state. My goodness. And then let's go to, oh, shoot. I'm sorry. See if I can get back to that page I was on before. I don't know why my computer's moving so slow. I apologize, you guys. Where's Virginia? You don't need to take any extra hours for Virginia. I know that for sure, because when I'm doing my continuing education, I only have to do extra hours for DC and Maryland. So you would do these classes, and then once you finish, they bank your hours with the NMLS, and then you can take your test. And then once you take your test, you move on to the step of doing your federal background check, and you move on to getting your license, applying for your license at each state. So I hope this helped, guys. I hope this wasn't all over the place. If you have any questions regarding getting licensed, if you have any questions regarding changing your license over to Mortgage Experts, please, 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 please give me a call. I'm always open to any questions. My phone number is 301-965-1155. This live is pre-recorded because I will be traveling on Thursday at 1 o'clock. So the last couple weeks, I have been playing old lives and re-recording them and posting them at 1 o'clock. Today, I sacrificed and stayed up late. I am in Michigan on a training for an experienced LO class. And I know I'm going to be on a plane on a Thursday at 1 o'clock. So I wanted to make sure I put some content out here for you guys. So it has been pre-recorded, but if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the comments. And once I get back to look at your comment, I will definitely answer, or hold your comments and give me a call at 301-309-65-1155. 301-965-1155. And I got you. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day. I love y'all. Bye.